What be your pleasure, sir? Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. And finally, it's time for me to check out Hellraiser 2022 remake. Been 3 years. 3 years. Um, yeah, because this was on Hulu and I didn't even know any way to watch it. And even though they put Prey out on a Blu-ray, which came out around the same year, nothing for this one. Nope. Just been on Hulu, so now that Disney Plus is connected, I guess I get to check this out. So, Hellraiser. Where am I on the Hellraiser franchise? I like the first four very much. I'm also a fan of Hellworld. Don't mind Hellseeker. Don't like Deader. I feel like it's the dud of all of them. Hellraiser Revelations is fine. Judgment is gross, but it's fine. And then there's Inferno, which I hate with a fiery passion because it gave me a massive headache the first time I watched it. That cover them all. So they announced this remake and everybody was up in arms. Goes, oh, we're gonna have a female Cenobite. Actually, she's trans. So for all you bigots out there, technically it's still a man. Because people out there, they just can't accept people for things. They'd rather say that they're mentally messed up in the head, that they're sick in the head, other than just accept people for who they are. And then they'll be like, but that's not who they are, though. That's not what they were born to be. It doesn't matter what you were born to be. Well, it's what God created you. You ever? Sure? Yeah, but isn't God's whole point is He creates you? And I'm not a... And then he puts you on earth. He created us to live and do what we want. We don't have to do whatever He wants. Otherwise, there wouldn't be anybody. There would be very less children, because thou shalt not, you cannot have a baby out of wedlock. That's very much against that. So, yeah, if we all just did whatever and followed what He did, what He wanted. You ever wonder that maybe He just wants us to be who we want to be and do what we want to do? Sometimes that leads to badness, and you can chalk that up to the devil, sure, but the fact that He's up there and never gets involved in anything, I'm just saying. But, I'm just saying, just let people be with who they want to be. So we got a female Cenobite. I was a little iffy on it because, Doug Bradley, they had two other, Paul T. Taylor, who was the one in Judgment, and then the other guy who was terrible, and they had him dubbed. Paul T. Taylor was fine. I kind of wanted a continuation to that, but they were going in the direction of, let's just remake it. And then they selected this. And yes, it's clearly not just, well, let's just try this. No, a lot of decisions like this are done because they want representation. And it is getting a big headache that they just, why can't you, like, especially with comic movies and stuff, where it's just like, why can't you just be faithful? Why do we need to jam this in? Like, Wonder Man. I like Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, but Wonder Man is not black. He doesn't need to be black. There are plenty of other black superheroes out there. Why do you keep... And people are like, oh, well, there's some people out there that are just like, if it's a good actor, okay, fine. Then make Ryan Gosling Black Panther. Oh, but that's racist. Really? Really, it's racist for a white guy to play Black Panther, but it's okay for a black guy to... It's racist for a white guy to play a black character, but it's okay for a black character to play a white character. That's a double standard right there. And it's bullshit. But, yeah, I will say, though, Jimmy Clayton, and I looked it up, she's pretty good in the role, even though it's not a big one. She's there. The main villain is actually Gorn Vishnik, who plays, Luca from ER. That's where I know him from, because my mom used to watch that shit. And I watched a little bit of it, with TNT and stuff. He plays Roland Voight, which is a weird name. He's the main villain. Another thing that threw me off was when they showed off the LeMay configuration, and it didn't look anything like the LeMay configuration. And they're like, oh, well, it's going to change to different shapes throughout the movie. No, that's not what it does. And those of you who are going to point out the second one, yeah, but that was it. They looked like the Leviathan configuration, like that. That was it, and it never changed again. I just felt, I was like, oh, they are doing too much now. Not only have they changed, what sex Pinhead is, but now they're changing what the LeMay configuration looks like. And it goes through different looks throughout this. And they don't look bad, but I just don't think it's needed. They try to explain it, and I really don't care. Like, this one is about power, and this one's about the sensation. I don't care. It's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like this. That's what it's supposed to look like. A cube. It's always been a cube. Even in the second one, it was shaped like that, but who cares? They also, in the opening scene, disregard a rule. Because we had this guy at the beginning, I don't know his name. Let's see if it... Get the right controller. This guy at the beginning... Joey. He is lured to open... Voight lures him to open up the LeMay configuration. Then the Cenobites show up and take Joey. That's not how that works. The Cenobites, no, it's been shown before that it's not always who opens the box that gets taken. Take Tiffany in the second one. She opened the box, but the Cenobites were like, It wasn't her. It wasn't of her own volition. She didn't do it for herself. She did it for you. So they should have taken Voight. But then we wouldn't have a human villain in this, so... Yeah. And like every time we see him after this now, he's got this weird thing, because he wanted sensation. But he didn't clarify which kind of sensation, so now the sensation he gets is pain. That's it. As for there was too many Cenobites here. There's only supposed to be 3, right? Well, 3 or 4. The original ones was Pinhead, the female one, Chatterer, and Butterball. So here we have Pinhead, who is also female, but there's also another female one called the... The Gasp. Okay. Chatterer is here. And then there is Asphyx. Okay, so maybe there's only 4. I don't know. I thought there was more. Never mind. I miscounted. But yeah, and that's our opening scene. And then we just kind of move into our character, Riley. It's Pamela Adlon's daughter again. At least she took that fucking thing out of her nose. I'm sorry, but if you walk around, I don't care if you have it here or here. It was like a little dot thing, even a little loop. But don't put the thing in your nose. You're not a fucking cow, okay? You're not a bull. And this looks fucking stupid, okay? And the fact that people, like... I can see if it's for a movie and you want to look, and it's, it's a character in the movie, I get that. But the fact that these people that do that, and I know these 2 celebrities, another one besides Pamela Adlon's daughter, Florence Pugh does it too. Didn't your parents ever teach you to present yourself right in public? having a thing here is not presenting yourself right. Don't go out to public stuff with the internet. That's not, no. Sorry. I hate it when people walk around and have that. You look stupid. You don't look cool. You look stupid. At least, I don't like bolts in the tongue either, tongue piercings, but at least they're in your mouth so you don't see it all the time. Right? Same with nipple piercings and belly button piercings. They're covered up. Well, sometimes women wear the thing where the midriff shows. The belly button piercings aren't the worst. Neither nipple piercings. I don't hate those. I just, they're not. This is stupid. Anyway, we're introduced to her in a weird way, a sex scene that's like not really shown any nudity. Really, I mean, it's implied they're doing it, but we don't see anything. Her and her boyfriend Trevor. Yes, and apparently she's a recovering addict. More about that in a second. And she met him in a 12-step program, which is not a good idea. And her brother rightfully is concerned about this because she lives at her brother's apartment. And her brother's gay, and that's perfectly fine. He and his boyfriend Colin, I guess. We get a make-out scene from them too. And if you're offended by that, fuck off. Well, you have your own opinions, but no, fuck off. Anyway, can we just all be accepting? That's my whole point. Like Rodney King once said, can't we all just get along? What, too soon? Anyway, so her brother is hassling her to pay the rent. You give me rent? If only, that would be even funny. You give me rent? So Trevor brings up something in the storage facility that they could sell, and of course ends up being the mech configuration. So yeah, she gets it, and it pricks her, but she transfers it to, hold on, is that? She solves the puzzle but misses being cut by the blade. Cenobites, group of mutilated humanoids, appear and demand another sacrifice. So she doesn't get pierced. She missed it. Matt shows up, finds her unconscious, and inadvertently cuts himself on the box, and they take him. Okay. By the way, there's too much yelling in this movie. Everyone's always yelling at each other. It's annoying. Like, she tries to tell them what's going on, but they don't believe her. Like, because she was dumping out pills, and then she took the pills, and because she was on pills, they don't believe her. She's an addict. That worked in Evil Dead, but they were stranded and couldn't go anywhere. And it worked. One, she took the pills and is not experiencing detox or anything, so it's a little bit different, but I don't know. There's 6 configurations apparently I see from this thing. Yeah. So they track down Voight's former lawyer, Serena, who's coughing up a bunch of stuff because she's living in an assisted living facility apparently. She tries to take the box because she put it in there to keep it away from everyone. But she's cut by the blade, and the Cenobites take her too. Because there's a certain amount of sacrifices they need, I guess. So they go to Voight's mansion. Riley does. And each of the 6 configurations require a victim to be marked for sacrifice by his blade. When has this ever been a thing? What? This makes it so complicated. I'm like, why are we counting down these sacrifices? You only need 2 left. Since when is there a limit on what you need? I don't get it. There was never any limit before. I get maybe it's replacing the whole the thing from the original where you bring someone and they take his life for it. Maybe it's replacing that, I guess. But it just makes the whole mech configuration more convoluted. Right? I don't know. And when it gets done, whoever is holding it receives a gift from Leviathan. Yeah. She sees what appears to be her brother, but it ends up being a Cenobite, and they say, "Bring us more." So yeah. So the other three show up. Colin, Trevor, and Nora show up. She tries to explain stuff to Colin, but they don't. They don't believe her, and then she opens up a secret passage, and Trevor inadvertently shuts the door, trapping her inside, and he attempts to rescue her. Voight, alive now, stabs her with the box, still alive, I guess, and the rest of the group tries to leave, but the Cenobites take Nora. Was she pricked? Because I don't remember her getting pricked. She just gets taken. Why? So what? Voight stabs. Voight stabs. What's her name? That was Riley with the box, and they take Nora? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Okay. The priest offers to exchange Matt for 2 sacrifices. She says no, and she's ordered to sacrifice 2 more people or give up herself, which technically wouldn't. How does that work? She's worth 2 sacrifices, I guess. Chatterer injures Trevor, and Riley solves the next configuration and stabs Chatterer. Apparently, that works as a sacrifice. They're not alive, so I don't understand how that works. Right? They're from hell. They're not alive. They run back to the mansion, and Riley and Colin are gonna trap the Cenobite, the Asphyx. Is that the one? The one that's not Chatterer, the one who replaced Butterball, that one. But she drops the box, and then Voight appears. Voight shows up, grabs the box, stabs Colin, and this is where we find the sensation he sought was pain. Well, he sought sensation, but it was pain instead of, so it twists his nerve endings. I can't think of that. And then we get the reveal that Trevor was in on it the whole time. And I was like, how does that make any sense? I know he lured her there, but just like, how long were they dating before? Or So was he sent to the 12-step program to just find a random addict who will need anything? Or did he listen to everyone's story and find the most pathetic one in his eyes and do it that way? I don't know. He completes the final configuration and traps the Cenobites. And then he demands for Leviathan to free him. Leviathan does appear. But Riley gets the box, unlocks the doors, and rescues Colin and stabs Trevor. So Trevor becomes the last sacrifice. Rapture rights? What's that? It's a cat with a bobbing head. Don't touch it. Yeah. And they tell Voight, hey, your reward, can't give it up. Going to be exchanged, not taken away. So I don't know what the. So she offers him power and taken away from the contraption, healed, and Leviathan grabs him and yoinks him away. And we see later that very much like Chenard, he becomes a new Cenobite. So yeah. So all the sacrifices are done. They offer to resurrect Matt. She says no for some reason. Apparently, the lesson was to learn. She was to learn. I don't know. It says here, realizing their gifts will only bring pain, decides to accept Matt's death. Sure. I don't know. The kind of, if I was calling, I'd be like, fuck you, I want my boyfriend back, dude. I don't you're his sister, but come on. They shouldn't have been taken to begin with, right? Yeah. Yeah, and then, like I said, he's turned into a new Cenobite and the movie ends. Yeah. I like the atmosphere of this movie. It was really good. And having the music in there was pretty cool, too. However, well, it felt like a Hellraiser movie, definitely. And David Bruckner, the director, who was also in the first VHS movie, did that, the Succubus one, the opening night, or whatever it was called. I don't know what it was called. Yeah. Siren. This was good. It's on the better half of the spectrum here for the Hellraiser movie. So I'm gonna give it a pretty good. I enjoyed it. I did. A lot of stuff wasn't lit. It was very dark throughout this movie. So I suggest watching it with like the blinds closed or in the dark or something. You can see it better. But yeah, I thought it was really well done. So what are your thoughts on the Hellraiser 2022? Let me comment below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. And I have such sights to show you.